Hey, Dan Cucimillo here with NorCal Sports Network and a video on the San Francisco Giants starting rotation. And is it good enough for 2025? Before we get into that, let us thank our sponsor of this video. That would be Chapman Law Group. Check them out in the video's description. And as always, everybody, if you would give this a like and a subscribe, we would really appreciate it. And leave your comments below when finished with this video. All right, guys, San Francisco Giants starting rotation for 2025. They have not signed anybody. They missed out on Corbin Burns. And right now, there's a projected 5-man rotation led by this man right here, Logan Webb. That's right. I got a Logan Webb baseball cap right here with his number on it. Yes, and let's take a look at Logan Webb as the staff ace as it stands right now. There's still a possibility that they sign Roki Sasaki. I think Webb still might be the number one, even if they sign Sasaki. But let's take a look at Logan Webb as he is a legitimate top-end pitcher in baseball. And you can look at his stats and see he's led the National League in innings pitched the last couple of years. He is the definition of a workhorse in today's game, pitching 216 innings in 23 and then 204 and 2/3. So he's pitched 420 innings in the last 2 seasons alone. And in 22, almost hit the 200 innings pitch mark there as well. So Logan Webb is right there in the National League, top 5 pitcher, you might say. He was runner-up Cy Young a couple years ago. So you're in good shape with Logan Webb. He's only 27. He's an all-star. He finished, like I said, in 2023, second in the Cy Young Award winner in the voting, and last year he had finished 6th in the Cy Young. So he's right there at or near the top in the National League. He gives you what you want, innings pitched. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher. He had 172 last year, decent in 204 innings. But you look at his ERA, it's low. He's got a good FIP. He's got a good WHIP generally, and he eats innings. That's what the Giants need. So Logan Webb at the top of your rotation, you're feeling pretty good there. Now, when you look at second in the rotation, you've got a lefty, and it's probably you're going to be looking at Robbie Ray, and Robbie Ray was phenomenal in 2021, winning the American League Cy Young Award with Toronto. If you look at Robbie Ray's 21 season, it was remarkable. He had a 2.84 ERA, 193 innings pitched, but a remarkable 248 strikeouts. Robbie Ray then had trouble when he had Tommy John surgery in 23, hurt his arm in the first part of the season, only pitched, I believe, 3 1/3 innings before having his elbow go out where he needed Tommy John. So then he made his comeback last year with the Giants in the second half of the season, and then was put on the shelf when he had an injury. So Robbie Ray, if he can return to form of what he was in 21, even in 22, he struck out 212 and 189 innings pitched. Not as good of a year in Seattle as he had in 21, his first year after signing with Seattle, but not a bad year. And Robbie Ray has a history of being a strikeout pitcher. He had 235 with Arizona in 2019 in only 174 1/3 innings. But his lifetime ERA in 11 years is 3.98. So he's pitched 1,258 innings. So he will have the most experience on the Giants staff as far as most innings pitched. So Robbie Ray is your number 2. And as I said, if he could return to the form he had before he got injured, in 21, that would be pretty remarkable. So and if that happens, I will say this, that will probably be one of the best trades that Farhan Zaidi made while he was with the Giants. Okay, number 3. If you're looking at the third person in the rotation, you're probably going to go with a right-handed pitcher, and it's either going to be Jordan Hicks or Hayden Birdsong. We'll go with the more experienced Jordan Hicks. The concern I have with Jordan Hicks is he's not a big-time starter. Last year was the most innings he ever pitched, which was 109 2/3, and he developed arm problems. Prior to that, the most he'd ever pitched in a season was 77 2/3 in 2018, his rookie year as a 21-year-old. He's been a bullpen guy for the most of his career. I really like Jordan Hicks and his stuff. I wish they would sign another starter because I think Jordan Hicks is best suited as a bullpen, back into the bullpen guy. If you need him for a spot starter for a couple of innings, okay. But I think if you try and go a full season and try and get 32 starts out of Jordan Hicks and averages, let's say 5 innings, that's 160 innings pitched. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to stretch him out from basically 110 to 160, and that's just averaging 5 innings. So I hope they sign another starter. Jordan Hicks has incredible stuff, but I don't think he's built to last for a season. Okay, so that leaves us to our 4th starter, and that would be the Giants' own farmhand, and that would be Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison, again, doesn't have a lot of innings history pitching. The most he's pitched in the major leagues was last year as well. And Kyle Harrison last year pitched 124 1/3 innings. He did strike out 118, so just about 1 strikeout per inning. His ERA was over 4.5, and he did struggle with command at times. And that's something he's going to have to work on, and he's going to have to develop that other pitch. So I'm not so sure Harrison he could have a breakout year. I mean, he was the player of the year or pitcher of the year in the minors. A couple seasons ago, he was ranked as the number 1 left-handed prospect in all of minor league baseball. So Kyle Harrison as your number 4 starter. So you're starting Webb, Ray, Hicks, Harrison, and then your 5th starter penciled in right now is Hayden Birdsong. Now, Hayden Birdsong has not thrown a lot of innings either. Last year, he only threw for the San Francisco Giants. He threw 72 innings pitched for the whole year. And if you look at his minor league career, the most he's ever pitched was in 23 with 3 teams in the minors. He was an A and a high A ball and double A. He threw 102 102/3 of an inning. So basically just 100 innings pitched for the season. So you're not going to stretch Birdsong out that much. So you're already going into the season pretty shorthanded when you look at Hicks, Harrison, and Birdsong as far as innings pitched. So you're going to need 1 to 2 more starters. The Giants can pull from Carson Wisenhunt, possibly Mason Black, Tristan Beck could give you some innings. So there is opportunity where the Giants can figure out where they're going to get 162 starts and get those innings. But I really think they should look at adding another experienced pitcher. Hopefully that's Roki Sasaki. We'll find out in about 2 weeks or so after the 15th of January if Roki chooses the Giants. But if not, you might want to consider looking at Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty does pick up some innings, okay, guys? Jack Flaherty, if you looked at him and compared him to, for example, you could compare him to Logan Webb, for example, and just compare him on just last year's season alone. Okay. And I will pull that up for you here. Give me 1 second while I get to Flaherty stats versus Logan Webb. And you can see they're pretty similar. In fact, if you take a look at this chart right here, you're probably not sure who's Logan Webb on there and who is Jack Flaherty. You look at, you can kind of tell by the innings pitched last year, of course. You could see on the left side is Webb with 204 innings pitched to the 162 for Flaherty. But the ERA was lower with Flaherty. The ERA plus was better. The strikeouts were more, even though he had less innings pitched. K rates higher with Flaherty, obviously. Base on balls is the same, 5.9%. The WAR's pretty similar. So Flaherty had 5 less starts. So that could account for right there close to 30 innings. So that would push Flaherty up to closer to 190 mark if you gave him 5 more starts. So I think they need a guy like Flaherty would be a good pickup for them. And I don't think he'll cost anywhere near what obviously Corbin Burns was going to cost them or Max Fried. So I think the Giants do they have an elite pitching staff? No. Is it sufficient for 2025? I will say no. I don't think it is right now. I think this pitching staff as it stands is probably in the middle of the pack toward the lower half of pitching staffs in baseball. When you have 3 pitchers that are unproven, and Robbie Ray is a proven veteran, but he's coming off injury after the 23 season where he had Tommy John. So this is 2 years fully recovered. I expect to see quite a bit more out of Robbie Ray. Generally, after 2 years, 18 months is most what pitchers say. They start to feel a lot better. I think Robbie Ray will bounce back, have a good season. So I think you have Ray and Webb that you're probably going to be able to count on. Harrison is unknown. We hope that he reaches his potential. Birdsong the same. Hicks. But again, their innings are limited. So tell us what you think. What do you think the Giants need to do? Do you like the idea of signing Jack Flaherty? Of course, everybody loves the idea of signing Roki Sasaki, but Giants have really no control over that. That's going to be Roki's decision, and what he bases that on, who knows? But let's say Sasaki chooses another team, the Dodgers, Padres, or somebody else. What should the Giants do? Should they go out and sign Jack Flaherty before the 15th of January? Should they go sign it? This isn't a pitching, but how about Flaherty and Alonso and making some trades? And then maybe Sasaki looks at your team and says, you got Pete Alonso, you got Flaherty. I could pitch because I want a 6-man rotation. That would help tremendously because I don't think the Giants have the type of starters right now that can sustain you and carry you through a long season. So tell me what you think in the comments below, everybody. We do appreciate you watching. We do read the comments and we try to respond to as many as possible. So thanks again for watching NorCal Sports Network, and we will see you on the next video. Take care.